By strange noises in the middle of the night.
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Haunted Lunch Hour. There's just me and James today. I guess might pop in a little bit. If they don't, it happens. Life happens, and we are we'll just keep on keeping on. How are you doing today, James?
I'm okay. Glad to be here. And yeah, things happen, and you never know. But still glad to be here, and looking forward to seeing where this thing goes because we have no idea.
Anything is possible for sure. What's up, brother Willie? Arr. Uh, Appreciate you. Much love, much love. So yeah, figure we go ahead and light her up, just in case if they do pop in while we're talking. Hell, we just swing. If not, we'll just do a little short show and have a little fun with it. Hope y'all enjoyed the new intro. It's a little different.
Yeah, that was neat.
Like I said, I like the Ghostbuster part. Turned out, got to put Ghostbusters in some piece of it.
Yep.
'Cause a
Yeah.
lot of people, that was their first taste of like, even of a paranormal show, especially, like our generation or whatever. And even then, even younger, I mean, the cartoons and
Yeah, and I was saying before we started recording here that for as overall as inaccurate as the movies are at portraying actual paranormal stuff overall, they were still just so funny and so just the stories are interesting enough where it didn't matter. As of course as a kid or a young teenager or whatever, I didn't know. But looking back on it now, sort of after being involved in various ways in this whole community over the years here, it's like wow, that's some stuff in those movies that happens once in a great while, if that, and taken to extremes. But they were so good that it just didn't matter.
it. Oh yeah, brother Willie. Yeah, them old radio dramas. That's what the shadow was one of them old radio dramas, and It'd be it'd be kind of cool, but think about back in the day like that. Y'all were just kind of sitting around the radio and just listen to this story somebody tell. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool time if you think about it.
Right. Well, and the thing with the radio, and then I guess in a different way with books, with just visual reading, is as opposed to TV or movies, is you have to make up everything that is being said or everything that you're reading. You have to make up for yourself in your own mind,
Hmm.
and it may not be as detailed, which almost makes things maybe more frightening in terms of when it's scary or paranormal things that are being talked about. You don't know what's there. You can make up so much with your mind, but then on the opposite side, when it's TV or movie, everything is there. You see and you hear what is there. There's not. You don't have to use your imagination so much to process it or to
Hmm.
create it. So it is a completely. Those are completely different mediums, and I think they're all valid, but they're definitely have their differences.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it also matters like how great imagination you have. If you have a really vivid
Right.
imagination and you're reading, that's where like a lot of people that love to read. They have a really good imagination because they can put themselves into that world. If they're reading Tolkien, they're in the world of the hobbits, and or they reading, um, whatever they're reading. So yeah, or if they're listening to some radio show or listen to a book being read, they can picture themselves and how the details of everything. They listen to the words and now they get the picture of the castle or of the room. It's it pulls out the imagination, and so I can I was like imagination, and it's a powerful tool. It can really It's really amazing how what it can do. This damn
Yep.
mic stand.
Mm.
It just does what it wants to do. Just it does what it wants to do. Guess
Yeah.
because I got extended all the way out. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. So I get the weight and it's just steadily just pushing it down. Uh, but yeah, it's. But yeah, I love the old Ghostbusters movies, and So you don't think nobody's refrigerators taking over the world, Shane?
Not likely. And not to say that there can't be anomalous things with refrigerators, doors opening and closing and all that, um, things moving. I mean, it's not so much like the movement of objects that is something that is obviously reported. Um,
Yeah.
even in the first movie, the one with the part with the kitchen and the eggs, exploding or whatever. Like, I feel like I've heard of that over the years here and there in rare cases. Physical objects being manipulated, that that is not uncommon overall.
Hmm.
It's just the huge apparitions, like from the second movie, just a city filled with visible apparitions, you know, uh, uh, a shell over like a huge building, like a shell of energy gunk stuff over a building. Yeah, that's a little bit, a little much. But the yeah, so it's there's things that are kind of, I think it might be fun to actually do a whole breakdown of that at some point. I don't know where, if yours channel or my channel, whatever, but of the things that have been reported, um, that are in those movies, and then the things that maybe not so much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the possibility. I mean, just if any place I guess could happen, New York could be one of them. Just the
Right.
hatred and anger is so great that it creates a slime, and it and takes over a building. Hell, if any place could do it, by God, New York is on top of the list of most angry ass cities.
There's a weird thing about that city, and also in the way that it is the center for so many fictional universes, or at least it has been over time, or at least it's been like a major part of them, like Marvel Comics, the mainstream, the standard timeline. You know, a lot of the heroes exist in and villains exist in that city. You have, of course, Ghostbusters. I think even Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I believe. Yeah, so they're in there. That whole world takes place there. You have the city featured a lot in Stephen King's Dark Tower series of books.
Hmm.
So there's something about that city that, and I mean, it makes sense when you have so many people gathered into such a small area. And I think maybe we can probably find similar things happening in other cities, uh, other tightly packed areas. It's just that maybe they don't get talked about as much, or they don't get used as much in fiction as New
Hmm.
York has.
Yeah, yeah. New York is, is just special. Is one of the biggest cities in the world.
Right.
Just the power, and everybody comes to New York. And especially, how many people just come through New York. A lot of people. That's the immigration that they came in, and
Yeah.
that was the first place they ever touched down. Like a lot of the Irish and stuff came through there, and um, it's a big city, and it's so lots of energy and people, and but again, I can see a river of hate slime running flowing underneath that cylinder.
Yeah. Even if it's not, literally like physical slime. I mean, energy. Yeah, I could see that, and that
Hmm.
energy causing things to happen, manifestations to happen on a larger scale. I could imagine that too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course, in the movies you got to put it a little extra.
Oh yes.
You got to have visuals. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, two had the extra. The ghosts were a little extra bigger and stuff, and like in the court scene where the
Yeah.
two guys busted out and they're huge as hell. It was like holy hell. I remember
And the
watching it. I think we
judge.
watched it at the theater and stuff, and it was like, oh, the ghosts were just so different than they were in the first one. Of course, they had a lot more budget.
Right.
They made so much money on the first one. They're like, man, we got to go. We got to make this one make us even more money. So they threw a lot more money at it for sure. You can see the budget was a hell of a lot more on the Ghostbusters 2 than it was one. But I don't know. One still still my favorite. I guess it is more gritty, and you get to see how everything comes together and the guys get together and the car and everything. It's
Yep.
and my favorite part of well, not my favorite part, but one of the parts that always gets me always when I talk about that Ghostbusters one is, Peter Venkman actually doing like the shop therapy to cause, you know, a gift, and it was working. His theory actually was working because the guy was getting closer and closer to getting the cards right, and of
Yeah.
course he was doing it as a sleazy way,
Yes.
but in the context his theory was had good merit. Just Dr. Bateman
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah. No, that was, and I just heard recently or saw recently online that the girl, the woman that was part of that scene, passed away somewhere. I think I saw that somewhere
Oh
online.
shoot!
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and that other thing I've always I've always wondered. I wish they could do. I mean, I know. I'm sure Aykroyd's got him. You know. You know, if they could do like a piece of it, or maybe do like as a cartoon or something. I would like to see the original with Belushi, like
Mm.
because everything was totally different. You know, they added Slimer because of Belushi passing away. You know, and of
Huh.
course Bill Murray's character. Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. Belushi Slimer is based on Belushi. His facial structure's kind of Belushi's,
Oh, okay.
and then like his the eating is from what was that damn movie? Animal. Yeah, I think Animal House. The way he was. So it was. Yeah, it was kind of a tribute to Belushi. Was Slimer.
Okay. Huh. That is
So
fascinating. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm just curious. I've always been curious. I'm like, man, what completely? I mean, of course, you know, Bankman's character been. I mean, if he used the same, I'm sure she used the same name, but they've been totally different character
Yeah.
having Belushi instead of Bill Murray. I'm just always been wondering. I was like, man, it'd be cool if they could take that original script and like put it into do like a cartoon or something. You know, at least a little bit of it, and
It's weird
just
how that
just
happens too with actors. Like when the original is there's one that's supposed to be there, and then it doesn't work out for whatever reason, and then they get someone else, and it's like it's hard to imagine, a franchise without this person that they had to get, you know, last minute or because the original choice or whatever couldn't do it, and yet it's just they're so well known for it after.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's one of them things. Like, man, what you know? Of course, Bill Murray was a big star before that, but like Ghostbusters, really put him like everybody knew.
Well, he
Uh,
just nailed like every line.
hmm
That's part of what's so amazing, and they all. I mean, they all did, but even above and beyond the others, he just yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it was really yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's just really fascinating to think about how or why do these things happen and do they happen for reasons and all that as well with these things that are going to influence just countless people going forward.
hmm Yeah, who would have thought, just that a simple movie like that would turn into an absolute, genre changing phenom. I mean, really, you know, as you see hunter groups to this day use the Ghostbuster, a modified Ghostbuster logo as part of their logo. Even you got people that have the cosplay of it and everything is amazing. Hell,
Right.
my brother's got a full proton pack. He's got the trap too, but that thing's huge. It's heavy.
Right.
Like it's amazing. The good thing he's got good walls, so he got it hanging on the wall there. But yeah, I mean just the amount of people it's influenced and the people it's brought to the paranormal world and just to think outside the box, and
Yeah.
probably
I
we
mean
wouldn't have a lot of shows we have right now. I mean, we had haunted stuff, we of course we had haunted movies and stuff, and
right.
but that was a crossover because it wasn't with that comedy horror blended where it was, where everybody could watch it.
Right.
Horror movies, a lot of horror movies, you can't take the
Yeah.
kids to that or like something like that. But this one here, the Ghostbusters franchise, you could take your kids to, you could watch, you always want to watch. What's up, brother Dave? Dave's Waffle House is in the house.
Yeah, and I haven't looked into it a lot, but I mean I know even after that, Dan Aykroyd has done either one or two different TV series on anomalous things over the years since then
Oh yeah,
for different networks and stuff. So because
that
he
and he's
was
been on this bunch of stuff because he's real
yeah,
into the occult. He's real into paranormal stuff. He is, he's had a lot of experiences and stuff like that throughout the years. So, oh yeah,
can you imagine getting him on the show?
that would be awesome.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a dream come true for sure.
Yeah.
Have Dan Aykroyd pop in. It's and talk ghosts and who knows what else.
Yep. Yep.
Speaking of that, I
Yeah.
just got reached out to another group show and they said let them look at the calendar and we'll check out a date.
Nice.
So we got some more guests steadily adding more guests. So we're trying to add on to this and keep on making this as big as we can for everybody.
You know what's amazing to me about all these people that investigate and have groups and all that and are part of groups is they're all sort of looking into the subject, but they're all different, in their levels of what kind of evidence they're looking for and what kind of experiences they want to have and just their views on all of it and it's really amazing because you think, oh, paranormal investigators, okay, so all these shows are going to be the same. No, I mean they have not been, and I don't think they will be going forward because everyone is so different and every group has different ideas of what kind of tech they should or shouldn't use and whether or not to involve any kind of psychics or mediums and all that. And so it's been a lot of fun with everyone so far, hearing all their different approaches and ideas on these things.
Yeah, I mean it really is. I mean, and everybody, like you said, everybody has their own skew and they has their own beliefs. And like, hey, we should be able to do this, or um, some people are more thorough than other people. Uh, in their investigation, trying to make sure they troubleshoot or debunk, and so it is amazing. Like each person, and as we've said before, is if you can have 10 people go through a haunted location, and maybe half of them might have something happen, and it might be something different on every one of those people. And so, and they could do, and it's amazing on the paranormal side of things is because it's like you could turn around and have 10 people go into the same building and do the same things, and all of them have different things happen. And it's like,
Right.
how's that work? And some that wouldn't have nothing happen. And then some that have, hey, we heard, they see something, orb or a shadow person. This person and hear voices. But it's amazing how a place can, places react to the people,
Yeah.
and I think I do believe it can sense the people and what they can do and how they feel, and um, what kind of, we all have energy and we all have give off a aura, and I think that's part of it that makes the difference between hunts, and some can sense, hey, these are good people. Some get, hey, you know these aren't good people,
Right.
and they can tell the difference.
There's something I had happen a couple of times before that I don't think I ever talked about on this show, and I almost wonder, is it paranormal or is it not? And I'll explain that real quick because I would be going to, let's say in one case, I went to a grocery store, and the people there know me, but they don't really, they know that I do like a podcast and that kind of thing, but they don't talk about it much or ask about it much here and there once in a great while. But I just happened to be walking into a store one time, and this store one time, and going to the customer service counter to ask about something. And literally, as I was walking up to that counter, two of the employees were standing there, and this guy was telling this lady about these knocks that came at his bedroom door one night. And she saw me, and she was like, "Well, you should talk to him about that." Like the timing, they had no idea when I was going to be there. I had no idea technically what time I was going to be there, and I just showed up at the right time. And of course, he didn't want to talk about it. He kind of just, he walked away and like he got busy with what he was working on. But I was just like, wow, how it was like just is there some I don't know energy or consciousness like the universe itself like oh yeah you're keep going with this you know here you go. And I had another time with actually funny enough with the eye doctor or the eye doctor that I go to. Not this time, but the last time I went there, um, I was waiting for my ride to go home, and while I'd been in there in one of the rooms, the lights had flickered a little bit, just real quickly, and then stopped. And there were these two employees, and one of them was a distant relative of mine, and he had no idea, I was coming that day. But they were talking about like, have you noticed the lights flicker in the room sometimes? And then the other was like, yeah, and sometimes we've gotten stuff that we were going to order, but we hadn't ordered yet, but it went through. Like we ordered it, and so we got the supplies we needed. And just like I was sitting there, like, oh my gosh, I wish I knew these people well enough to just like be part of the conversation, but they weren't talking to me. But
Hmm.
also like, come on, just at the right time. I happened to be there both times.
Wow. You should just interject it anyway, James. Hell with it.
I almost did. But yeah. So it was funny though. But
I bet. I bet it was. I bet it was. Well, I just got the email and they said we'll see you. Talk to you shortly. I think they got the time frame. It might
yeah,
be an hour behind on the time frame.
yeah,
So that's all right. We'll keep on keeping on, and then um, we can show clips from my new favorite channel, James. No, I'm playing. Have the dude yelling. Ah!
See, yet again, everyone, you have no idea how Ricky tortures me
I
behind the
told me I've been torturing
scenes.
a lot of people with it. Like there's like I keep sending that in my Facebook messengers. There's a lot of people I send that to. Now you missed a bunch of them. I've been trying to be nice,
Thank you.
but uh, I've been like sitting and I'm sure they're like, what the hell? This guy's just right off the bat, just at 100. His volume is straight up,
Oh, yeah.
at on
There's no
11.
build up.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's no slowly build up. He's hilarious though.
Yeah,
And then
I
when
was
he
telling
when he
Ricky,
actually gets his voice down to calm, he's like, "You got to be shitting me." It's like he throws it all the way down. He's no, he's really like actually kind of like half-ass serious. He's like,
right?
"Wow." I don't even know what channel that is. Let me see. Let me shout his channel out, which I'm sure his channel don't need my shouting out, but it's still fun. Yeah, I'm sure he's doing well for himself. That he don't need me.
Yeah, the whole video thing is just fascinating to me. Like videos of people's experiences. It's just that it's I don't know. There's so much you never know what's going on now. and so I'm like, I have a hard time really wanting to like get into that myself as far as watching a lot and commenting on it and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah. It's the Fuel Nerve Neve. Fuel Neve. Fuel Neve. FUELNEVE. Yeah, he's got 83,000 followers, so he's not doing too bad.
oh yeah,
Yeah, he's not doing
wow,
bad. So, but yeah,
yeah.
he gets excited though. He really does. He's just so freaking funny. He just yelling and yelling, cussing, and
He has a soundproof studio.
yeah, and it's the funny. Like I think it's um, the funny part. I think some of it is like when you see like the um, closed captioning, whatever was said. The always like if you says something, the see what the word gets changed to is my new
Oh,
favorite thing to see. You know, it's like he's saying a bad word, and what in the hell it turns into. You know, is um, like he said shit, and it turned into poo on the on the screen or the words. Uh, I was just
so they don't do what like radio stations do now when they play songs and they just when they're gonna say the F word they just say the F and the K, which cracks
yeah
me up. You
yeah
listen to the song and they just block out the middle of that word. It's like, come on. Oh, okay. We don't know what that word is now, right?
yeah like sometimes they don't do very well. They'll bleed out. You know, yeah, like hell, they'd bleed out like it'd be motherfucker, and they'd bleed out mother, you know, and I've seen
Wow.
that happen a couple of times. They screwed up. Yeah, yeah, they turn around and screw up and bleed up the wrong word. So why'd you have to bleed out mother? Is that mother a bad word now? What's the how I
Oh, that's
am too
funny.
far out of the loop here? What is going on here?
Oh man, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I have no recent events around here that I've had happen, so I can't give you an update because I have nothing to.
No, I mean that's kind of good. It's slowing down a little bit. There's nothing wrong with
Other
that.
than I had one night where I heard something like sound like it crawled down or fell down the side of the build, like my side of my building, and then was gone. That was kind of weird, but and it was like it made sounds on the glass patio door wall window thing, so it went down like the window. But who knows? That could have been some kind of animal. Maybe that was my cryptid experience and I had no idea.
Mothman was trying to talk to you, James, and you didn't even want to talk to
Yeah,
Mothman for some reason. I
I
don't
was
understand.
looking for the attic entrance and we don't have one because it's an apartment building, a single story apartment building at that.
Who have I seen? I'm trying to remember now. I remember just random ADD moments in here. Who? Maybe it might be one of our future guests. I had to. I've been watching and looking into the stuff and watching stuff so much lately, and then I'm reaching out, you know, and people's reaching out to me, and I'm reaching out to them,
Yeah,
and
you're
it's just
busy.
like back and forth. But I forget which one it was. It was. I think it's one of our future guests. So, but he had he had dolls on the shelf behind him, and I'm like, oh no, more dolls.
Another one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
another one. That's exactly what I said. I was like, oh, another one. I'm like,
that's
no,
funny.
creepy dolls. I seen a video today. Was that same guy the one
Yeah.
that screaming dude, but the one was like asking for a friend. What do you do if you create a haunted picture? And she had drawn on this and you never know if it's it's real, or whatever. But if
Right.
it is real, it is pretty freaky because if she had made a painting of this woman kind of looking around the door frame, like kind of leaning against the door frame, kind of looking around, almost
Oh,
like a go. But it was like it wasn't like an apparition. It was looking like a person right there.
right.
But the freaky thing was when you watched the video, the eyes when you turned and got out of the angle that either she did some amazing stuff with her painting, or something's going on because the eyes look like the eyes will follow you as you move in front of the painting.
Well, I've heard of rare cases where paintings, images on paintings, appear to move. Uh, Not common, but I've heard of that. Uh, and I don't know if it's a case of the physical material being manipulated, or to me, I lean more toward there's some energy or entity that is connecting with the person's mind and making it look like the picture is moving to their eyes. I don't know either way, but I've heard of that in rare cases, and of course, photographs. I've heard of that as well in rare cases, moving like the image of the photograph. I had that experience. I think I brought up here before, where my cousins and I went exploring up in the second floor of our grandparents' house, and found this desk, and it had a drawer, and we opened the drawer, and we found a picture of several people we didn't recognize, but they all looked like they were family. And this older man in the middle of the picture looked like he turned his head and looked and smiled at us and had red eyes.
Mm.
And we dropped that thing back in that drawer so fast and got out of there as fast as we could. I was the last one to get out because I can't move super fast, but we got out of there. And
I bet. Nope, not
I,
today.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was, and I could, especially with something smaller like that, I could go either way with that. I could go, okay, some entity manipulated the physical matter of the photo somehow, and made it look like it did what it did, or some entity reached out and into our minds and made us see the person in the picture moving their head. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Either way, we were done. Now I would actually love to investigate it. Now,
Hmm.
go back and be like, okay, what's going on? Like, how is this happening? And just watch it more. And I mean, who knows? I don't even know if that picture survived. My grandparents passing. Like, I have no idea where that picture is now.
Yeah.
Um, Sort of love to see it again. Actually, just see if it ever does it again. Watch now. I have some family member reach out like, hey, we have some pictures. Want to look at them? And I'll be there. But yeah, so I don't discount reports of the, and of course the sort of a logical explanation or a skeptical explanation as well. It's just in your imagination, or it's just the way the angles were made, or And yeah, I can again everything, all of the above, as we always say, everything, all of the above. Some
Hmm.
cases I'm sure it is that, but then there's others where it's harder to write that off that way.
Oh, absolutely. Um, it is. What's up, Nostradamus? Appreciate you being here. Um, yeah, it really is. It's I seen a video. Maybe you talking about the red eyes. Made me think about it. I seen a video where there was. I think they were in Russia. It was supposedly it was an old video, so like a new AI video. But it was an old video, and trying to remember what it was, but this band was playing for this bunch of Russian elites and stuff like that. Well, something happened. The power went out. When the power went out, like I guess somebody was filming, and you look out, and there was several, not all of them. So that made it look even worse. Like, but there was several people. The eyes started glowing.
Oh boy.
But there was others that didn't. There was a bunch of people there. You could right before the power went off. It was really freaky. and
Huh.
yeah,
That raises all kinds of questions there. Are those
yeah. They said the band left.
people? What's it?
Said the band left. They like, "Poop,
Yeah,
I'm done."
I don't blame them. Yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah. Now, like it's like you see, there's at least 100 people, whatever, 50 people, whatever, and then and so if it was something like reflected a light, or extra light, like a safety light reflecting off somebody's eyes, making it kind of messed up, it should have been more than
right.
just a few out there. It was really freaky.
See, that to me, that's not even. That's like there are some other species stuff right there.
That's what they kind of
Or
hinted at, kind of reptilian, maybe.
yeah, that or they're. I mean, possibly some kind of like non-violent possession almost too. Like they have some kind of spirit in them, and it's being
Yeah,
revealed in that case somehow.
could be. I'm gonna try to find that video. Like it's on Facebook, but I don't like showing off of Facebook. It's kind of pain
Right.
sometimes. It don't look very well.
Yeah.
Either that or I'll rip the video.
Right.
And I like to find the original or whatever. I'm gonna try to look it up if I can. I'll
No,
for
but that's
sure send it to
fascinating.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can find like especially I find the original. Like this is somebody. There's a video. These guys commentating on it, whatever, and all that kind of stuff. I like to find the original video and see what I can find on it. But yeah, it was absolutely freaky. Like as soon as the power went off, and all of a sudden you seen these eyes glow, and I'm like, I'm with the band.
Yeah.
Time to go. Turn. Run.
Yep.
It was like them videos from like 10 years ago, or whatever. And all of a sudden you hear the guy run. The music starts and they're running away. The guys with the backpacks and shit, they'll throw a backpack at somebody. And all of a sudden they go run.
Hmm.
Um, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the power went on, and all of a sudden I seen glowing freaking eyes and the freaking shit.
Yeah. And they outnumber you by a good 2 to 1
Yeah,
at least. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see how fast I really still am. I don't know. We're gonna see.
Fast and strong, unless they left all their gear there, which I
Yeah,
don't
if they
know. If you're
catch me,
thinking
I'm
it's,
gonna. I'm gonna.
I'm sorry.
I said, no, you're good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, which I'm thinking, if they noticed it too, they might have left their gear there. They might have left their stuff there.
Yeah, I wondered that too. Like, I wanna dig into that story. I do. I
Yeah.
want to dig in that story because I have questions like that. Like, did they just freaking like f these drums, f these guitars?
Exactly. Well, because
Or
that
maybe
stuff is not usually cheap.
no, no, no. I mean, maybe the guitars you can unplug and run, or just
Right.
run. I mean, I'm curious. I really am curious of what uh, transpired on that situation. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I
Definitely.
find a video on that, see if I can find a name. We got about 5 more minutes. We might have our guest here.
Yeah.
It
It
just means I
happens.
won't get some of the things. Well, I still have probably have time to get some of the things I want to get done. We'll be all right. It'll be all right. If I don't, I don't. I'll get it done tomorrow. There's always tomorrow.
Yep. Yep.
Let's see. Who did I send it to? I sent it to somebody.
I like that thing you posted in my Discord server yesterday. The like the 20 scariest places or whatever, and I was joking that it's totally normal that I recognize 15 of those 20 names. It's that's fine. So
Yeah, it's. I knew a bunch of 'em myself. It was, you know, a lot of them. A lot of them had a bunch of haunts. I mean, lots of, you know, like the Queen's Mary and stuff like that. There's been a bunch of hunts, is what the word I'm trying to find, uh, say and
Yeah.
everything. You know, it's
Waverly Hills. Yep.
Amity House, and you know, a lot of them. You know, a lot of. Let's see if I can find that video. I'm just.
What's fascinating to me is the cases where there was a ton of activity in a house for one family, and then nothing for future families. I've talked about this with actually we did a show on that whole idea and that Amityville, that whole part of the U.S. there, because at first you think, well, if only one family had all these experiences, then that must mean it was all a hoax. And I've heard, and I don't know for sure either way because there's so much out there about it. But a lot of people think that Amityville, the whole haunting there, was all a hoax. Some people think it wasn't. I almost wonder, as usual, is the truth somewhere in the middle? In other words, was there some actual activity there, but then also it was used later on for to make money or for publicity or whatever, um, and all that. But so, and I always wonder about that. In places that have activity for one family but not for anyone else, what was going on with that one family where they had experiences, and then what changed once they were out of there and new people moved in? Were the people that moved in just not sensitive and not even maybe thinking about anything anomalous anymore, and they just never had an experience because they weren't putting enough energy out there to interact with whatever might have been there? It's so tricky with all this because I don't think that logic that one family having experience and then the rest having none really can hold all the time.
Well, there's. I think there's a multifaceted thing there, though.
Yeah,
You know, because if you have, because possibly one possible answer to that is, sadly for that family that's seen it, it went with them.
right.
It attached itself and went with the family. So there we go. Here's John. Hello, John. How you doing?
Hey Ricky, how are we going? Are you
Good.
good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You doing good?
I'm just trying to get my camera in there now.
Ah, no problem.
We have Niall. Niall is joining in there now as well, so he just has a separate device. Can't see my camera. What is going on with this?
Ah, there we go.
Hello, just oh, don't worry. Brightness.
Nice to meet you, John.
Nice to meet you, James. How are you?
Yep. Okay.
Nice to meet you, lads. Okay, my brightness is very bright at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a second there, lads.
Ah, no problem. Oh, it went away.
It's grand remote around with it. I know that's good.
Oh yeah. You just trying to
Okay.
make yourself look like a ghost. That's all.
Yeah, Niall being there now, he's just setting up, so he'll be in the next few seconds. How's it going with you guys anyway?
Oh, good, good. Just been hanging out, talking, telling, just uh, talking about this and that, and
Very good. Whereabouts in the world are you?
James is up in Michigan, and I'm down here around Memphis,
Oh,
around
super,
Memphis, Tennessee.
super, super. How's the weather at the minute? Roasting.
It's hot.
Not bad here, luckily. We had some hot a little while back, but it's not too bad now.
Yeah, yeah. It's we don't get it as bad as you guys at all. It's I suppose the most we get would be 30 degrees. What's that in Fahrenheit? I think that'd be about 100. Would it?
Yeah,
Maybe.
so it sounds
But
like something
yeah,
around there.
it's we don't get it too badly at all.
Oh, it's 86
So
here.
yeah, Niall's in there now.
Yeah, 30 Celsius is 86 here. So, yo, yeah, that's
Okay.
a nice day here.
Yeah.
the summer. For around the south, it is. It's um, Louisiana's around 95, 96 lately. 90s right now here. So
Yeah, it's nuts. That's nuts. I don't know how you do it, guys.
it's it's
Say again? Maybe. See, myself and Niall are in the same room now.
oh okay.
So I'm usually a very loud person, and Niall isn't. So we're trying to. No, not grand there. No, Niall. That's it. Do you want to shout away there?
I'll give it a go. Hi, Ricky. How are you, Pat? You good?
Good. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good.
Man, I'm glad you're able to come on and come talk to us today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, how did you
Yeah,
come
thanks
across
for inviting
us?
us.
Uh, I don't remember now.
It could have been Chris Matthews' podcast, Forbidden Knowledge News, maybe, was it?
That's it. That is it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I seen
Yeah,
y'all
Chris.
on
Chris is a
there.
good lad.
Yeah, I seen
Have
y'all
you
on
spoken to
there.
Chris yourself?
I'm supposed to go on the show later this month.
Oh, savage. He's. I was saying to John just before we started. There is his podcast is. I think it's my favorite podcast of the year so far. Anyway, he does some great stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I seen y'all on there. I was like, well, hell. I used to be like nervous about it. Now I'm like, I don't care. Like if I get to do somebody say no or don't answer,
That's
I guess
it.
there. So
That's
I just
it.
leave
Yeah,
it
yeah.
at
I was the same, but fucking John's the man. He's he doesn't give a fuck, man. He's reached out. He reached out to fucking Paul Wallace. He's over 1 million subscribers, and I was like, John, Jesus, what the fuck? The next thing, Paul Wallace is on talking to us. So there you go.
You never know. I can do say
Yeah,
no.
That's it.
I was the same to start though. In fairness, you would be nervous, but sure, as you said, all they can say is no. And after a bit of time, you get more confidence. But Paul Wallace
But you know what?
is
I'd say your fucking your echo is on there in the microphone or something. Is it?
might come in next for you, Ricky and James.
Yeah, it might be. I don't know if
yeah.
it's reaching
Do you know what it
across
is?
there.
It's the switch at the bottom of the microphone there, John.
I've turned down to the bottom. Try muting your mic when I'm speaking. See. How about now, guys?
So far,
Am I
so
still
good.
coming in with an echo?
Yeah.
You've got this. It's this thing here that you.
Yeah, that's turned
Is that
down.
turned on? Fuck, I don't know. So. This is our equipment.
It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
We
make it
don't
work.
really use Riverside too much. We use Teams, but like, I've used Riverside before. I'm just trying to see. What it's speaking. Oh, echo cancellation is turned down. Speakers is through this microphone.
Are we live right now, Ricky?
Yeah, actually we are.
Yeah.
We're live.
Okay, cool. Do you?
Yeah, so I'll actually let you know about Paul Wallace, guys, while I was saying it. I'll try and keep my volume down here so I'm not picking up an echo.
God, yeah, it's a mad echo. I'm not echoing in yours, am I?
Yeah, that's the wild
No.
part.
Yeah.
It don't make sense. Like maybe it's the volume part because like one's not. That's yours is not coming back through John's, but his is coming through yours.
Right.
But even when I phone turned off, it's still coming through. You're still
Yours is
sounding
turned on
echoey.
now. Yours is turned on.
It is, yeah. But watch.
You know, how am I coming in there now, Rick?
It sounds good now.
You know what it is, Niall? See, because there's a delay because me and you are across the way from each other. But anyway,
Yeah.
Paul Wallace, he has another channel called The Fifth Kind that he's affiliated with. So it's him and an editor. I think there's something like 1.5 million subscribers with Fifth Kind, and then Paul Wallace has his own channel. Have you ever heard of Paul Wallace?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, if you're this guy is amazing. We came across him by chance back in January. I actually came across him on YouTube. I was looking up stuff about Eric Van Daniken, so he passed away in February, I think, either January or February. So you know who he was, yeah?
Oh,
Eric
yeah.
Van Daniken. Yeah.
Yep.
So Paul Wallace actually had a tribute video up of Eric Van Daniken, and it was one of the first ones that I've seen up on YouTube when I searched. So I clicked into it, and he looked interesting, so I clicked into his channel, the Fifth Kind that he's affiliated with. So what he looks at is, so a bit of his backstory. He is a former archdeacon, and he was involved with the church in England, and he was involved in, and he still is involved, I think, over in Australia in the church. So obviously, like any other pastor, for years they were following the teachings of Jesus and the Bible, and any types of texts that the doctrine would teach you. But he had an accident. It was a ultimate frisbee accident. If you've ever heard of that sport, it's a contact frisbee sport. So it's not just throwing frisbee, but it's contact as well. So he'd an accident, and he was off. He had to take some time off of work for a while, and then he started to read more into the text, like the Old Testament, and I think was it the book of Enoch and things. And he figured out there's something off in the way in which they are wording God within the text. So then he went to the old original texts and trying to see what's up here, what's wrong with this translation of the word God, meaning or being Elohim, right? So Elohim, if you actually translate it, it's plural, so it's gods, Gods, not God, gods. So through his study, he was a couple of months, and he kept on getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and he's wrote books on this. The Eden, was it Escaping from Eden? It's the Eden series, but there's 3 books he has at the moment, and he has another book that he's releasing. I'll get it up there for you in a second. But basically looking into the texts and these gods, who are these gods? So Yahweh being the Old Testament God, and the Jews and the Old Testament paint him as this being that is not too benevolent, but rather unforgiving. So he was thinking, why is this God portrayed in a different way to the New Testament? And Jesus says in the New Testament, I'm paraphrasing, but something like, don't do what Yahweh says, but do what I say. Act how as I say. So he's trying to move away from the old Yahweh. So in a nutshell, he reckons that this Yahweh God wasn't the God in the way that it's portrayed to us, but perhaps it was an extraterrestrial being that was taking the mantle of a God on its followers and putting on its followers that if you don't do by me, there's this punishment. So almost like the slave race of the Anunnaki, that these Anunnaki beings were portraying themselves as gods to their followers to do their bidding. So if for anyone that's listening, look up Paul Wallace, The Fifth Kind on YouTube, and he does it in a lot better detail than what I just spelled out there, but that was just a nutshell. So the word Elohim, meaning gods, and when you start digging deeper and deeper and deeper, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just pulled up the channel and looked at it. I followed I subscribed so I can take a look at that later, for sure. Another rabbit hole to go down.
There's this, yeah, like that, because Niall, I remember you said that. Remember we started watching his work after, and Niall even said to me, "Geez, John, I should be following this fella for much longer because he's a lot of good stuff." Paul Watts, he has a new book coming out. What's the name? I think he's a Italian author, researcher. So yeah, what's your whole take, guys? So yeah, what's your whole take, guys, on the whole
Say that again. It kind of, I don't know, it kind of internet dropped just a little bit.
What's your whole take on the
Still kind of rough, the internet there.
Am I coming through okay there, Ricky?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're coming through.
Yeah. So I didn't hear what you were saying there, but What was I going to say? Yeah. So Ricky, how did you get started in the whole podcast world anyway?
Um, it's just kind of fell in. There was some people that were sitting there and talking to me and wanted me to do like you should do this. You should do something with you got a good voice for this or whatever. I'm like whatever. And so I was like okay. So I started like just putting stuff on Spotify and I started just recording my thoughts basically. That's like if you go to my first things on YouTube, Spotify, like it's just me random thoughts of that day. And then
Mm.
I didn't even tell nobody about it. I just put them out there. I recorded them, uploaded them, and done. And so then I turned around and then I'm starting to meeting and connecting with people and stuff like that. And they're like, "Well, you need to do live." And I said, "Okay." So I started just doing live, and me and my friend Jamie, we started doing a talking with conspiracy, our Wednesday show, and so we just kept on doing that. And I met the Troubled Minds group, and they, you know, and because Mike Strange actually, kind of has all kinds of with Troubled Minds Radio. He has a bunch of different people come on and talk and tell ideas, and he has kind of a description of like, hey, what's going on, and then you just call in, you kind of thing. You can call in actually a phone, or you can use
Oh, cool.
Discord, and it's like, man, this is cool. Like it's Um, I don't believe everything what everybody's saying, but this is cool that that people are able to have this discussion and have
Mm.
ideas. And I said, hell, I want to do that too. And so I just started recording, like doing my pre-recorded stuff, and started going down rabbit holes and finding stuff out. If I learned something new that I didn't I didn't know, I was like, well, hell, maybe there'd be other people that didn't know too. So then I went down the rabbit hole, lots of declassified government stuff, and then to everything from there to oldest hotels to everything in between. And then I started doing the live stream and um, continued with that. And then I was like, well, I want to talk about ghosts and I want to talk about cryptids. I want to talk about because my Wednesday show's kind of been leaning more political because of just the way the world is right now. It's
Mm.
and I still trying to balance it out a little bit, but it's been long. I said, well, I want to do a fun show for talking ghosts and stuff like that. So that's when I
Yeah.
started doing the Sunday show with James. I said, hey James, this is what I want to do, and he's like, yeah, I'll be part of that. So we've been doing that for last. I think we're 30 something shows in now, doing paranormal shows, and then I just kind of started doing like the lunch, for ones that can't come on Sunday night. I was like, hell, we'll just do a lunch show and
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah, it's good crack. Yeah, it sounds like you're covering a lot of subjects there, but there's no shortage of subjects, is there? In fairness,
No,
I mean,
no, no. It's not.
it is hard to get away from, like when myself and John started this. I was kind of looking at it as a way of I suppose exploring, like you say, uh, more fun subjects like mysteries and ghosts and Bigfoot and aliens and all this kind of stuff. But the politics, it was a kind of a distraction for me from the politics. But you just
Yeah.
can't fucking escape it because it's fucking every day. And it's just getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, yeah, it really is, and when that's one of the things we try to lean away from, like on these shows, and um, but like yeah, our Wednesday show is like yeah, it's I had a lady come on, Zoe Smith. She was a whistleblower for COVID and stuff like that, and she wrote a wrote a book and been on a bunch of shows and documentaries, and
Mm.
because she was right there, part of it, like part of the coding, and was seeing all the stuff come across her desk, and she kind of let people know, and kind of got blacklisted because of it. But
Yeah,
um, it's crazy, all the crazy stuff going on in the world, and so many distractions going on, and you know everything going in the world, and hey, we got aliens though. Look at all this alien stuff we got
yeah,
coming up. It's like
yeah.
why now?
Yeah, and the COVID subject then is a difficult one to navigate because it's heavily censored, and you could just get your fucking channel nuked before you know it. You say the wrong thing, and they'll just say, you're spreading medical misinformation, and your channel is gone before you know it.
Yeah, I've had to do a few classes on YouTube, or classes, whatever. You just answer. If you answer the question wrong, they would keep on until you let you go until you answer the question right. And
Is that right?
yeah, I had to
Is
do
that's through YouTube? They were putting you through a little course or a little something like that.
Yeah, because I said some misinformation, and I didn't. The crazy thing is, I didn't even say it. I played a video, but I guess because it was on my channel. But I played a video of somebody else saying something about um, Bill Gates, and then it all of a sudden, boop.
Yeah, and I found it like I before myself and John started this, I had a small YouTube channel that I only got to 150 subscribers before I was gone, and it was shocking really to me. Like I remember I had 40 subscribers, and the first video got taken down, and I was like, I thought I'd be flying under the radar for a while, like you just nobody with no subscribers, and boom, you're gone. And yeah, that COVID misinformation stuff was, and like you said, I shared a video that was on YouTube that I just took a clip from it, and it was fucking Bill Gates talking about how we can reduce the population. Gee, I better be careful what I say here now. But you're probably familiar with that TED talk that he gave, and I just shared a clip of that, and it was like, no, but it's on YouTube, it's on other channels, big channels, so it's a difficult one to navigate.
I shared the same one and got in trouble.
Yeah, fucking crazy.
Yeah, I got in trouble for the clip.
Did you say you're in Memphis?
Yeah. Well,
okay, no, I was just listening to a podcast from a couple of months ago that Chris Matthew did with Ollie Demigard. Did you see that one?
No, I missed that.
He was talking. Yeah, he went. Do you know what? Actually, it was actually a year ago, I think, that he did that episode. But he went deep into the conspiracy about Elvis. Is Elvis dead? And it was very interesting. It's worth a watch. I won't go into all the details about it, but it was entertaining if nothing else. But I love a mystery like that, and it's nice to just sit back and enjoy a little puzzle like that. That's not going to fucking leave you feeling stressed like the politics and stuff like that.
Is he dead now?
He thinks that he's still alive, to be honest with you. So yeah, it's. I'm not sure if I'm like. There's definitely certain things that he said that could be true, but I'm not sure if he thinks he's this. I can't remember the guy that he thinks he is now, but he thinks he's this guy who's on Facebook. He's a pastor, I think. He'd be 90. He doesn't look 90, but yeah, there was definitely some interesting things. He was talking about how Elvis had testified. I didn't know any of this. He testified against the mob or something, and a couple of guys went away and they were going to come get him. And the theory is that he faked his own death, and that the Elvis in the coffin, because there's an open casket. They're saying that that's a fucking what's your one who does the waxworks, celebrity waxworks, something like that. Anyway, that it was a fake head, wax head. There was a fan apparently inside in the coffin to keep it cool because it was starting to melt or something. I don't know, but it was a bit of entertainment anyway. Are you all big fans of Elvis in Memphis still, or how's that go?
Man, it's crazy. It's amazing how many people come from around the world to come see at Graceland and see the spots, and which is they got to drive through a rough part of Memphis to get to it, and they're trying to clean the area up because of how much tourism is, but yeah, I remember I talked to a truck driver. I was heading to Chicago years ago, and I had like a handheld CB in my seat, and this truck driver popped through there, and I just started talking to him back and forth, and he had said like, yeah, Elvis was still alive, but he said he had passed away, but later on, but he just got fed up with his life, just being in the spotlight, and he was like he was done, so he did that so he could get away, and that part makes sense too. I was like, man, you can't go anywhere. You can't go out to eat. You can't go to the gym. You can't go anywhere without people like hounding you and want pictures and autographs.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
You turn around and go, "Oop, I'm done."
Well, Ollie Demigard was making claims that Elvis would would go to these shows, these Elvis impersonator shows, and hang out with all the guys who are dressed like Elvis, and people would come up to him and say, "You nearly do look like Elvis," you know. But who knows, man? Who knows?
We had a guy on our show, let's say maybe this time last year. Miguel Connor is his name, from Aeon
Yeah.
Byte Radio. Have you ever come across him, guys?
No.
No.
So this fella's very interesting. He's wrote a book called The Occult Elvis. So you should reach out to him. He'd be a great guest for your show, I think. But basically linking Elvis's life to, I suppose, his interest in the occult, and apparently Elvis had some UFO experiences as well. Now this is information that he's taken from many family members of Elvis, or close friends of Elvis, from many memoirs and stuff. So it's not just stuff that he's taken from, I don't know, Facebook posts or Reddit posts. So it is stuff that is legit, apparently. Um, but yeah, like Elvis apparently was really stuck into Gnosticism as well, Niall, wasn't he?
I'm not sure. He was
Gnosticism.
like he was a Christian though, wasn't he?
That's what
He
I
was,
thought.
yeah. But
Yeah.
he was always interested in the different, I suppose, occult rituals. He not that he practiced them, but he would always try and figure out what are they about, and he was very interested in what goes on after death, where do we all go, and apparently he, due to his upbringing, he had a harsh enough upbringing, obviously, as you know, and was from a fairly poor family. But there's something that they link spiritual activity to. So it's anyone that goes through any bit of, I suppose, rough patch in their early life, especially children, that it opens up this sense, almost like a sixth sense, that they have, that they mightn't even witness it, I would say, until later in their life, but it opens up to many different spiritual experiences and things. And apparently Elvis had these because of his, I don't know, his harsh,
Traumatic upbringing. Yeah,
traumatic
yeah,
upbringing. Yeah.
yeah. They say like trauma kind of opens you up to this kind of stuff, doesn't it? It's we were talking to a couple of people about. Geez, we're going to go dark now, but the satanic ritual abuse, kind of they fractured their minds and they open them up to MK Ultra stuff and open them up to demonic possession and shit like that.
Well, even people born with physical disabilities, I've noticed in some cases, and myself as well. I was born legally blind. I've heard that can also just having that from birth or from an early age, because you're not, life is not the same way as it is for you as it is for everyone else, and there's all kinds of, again, trauma that can come from that too. And I've noticed that I've heard so many accounts of people saying, I've had these experiences, and sometimes they'll say, or sometimes you'll find out that they are, they're either have low vision, or they're blind, or they have other physical issues where they can't walk as well or move as well. Different things that make them different from what you think of as most people. And they have, and it's not every single person, but
Yeah.
just over the years I've come across reports of that, where you find that out if you listen to a person enough or talk to someone enough. And I've definitely noticed that myself with all my own experiences.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Isn't it?
Well, what kind of experiences would you say you'd have had, John?
Oh boy, it's funny. So I have my own podcast, and my co-host and I did a whole series of shows just on my experiences. Uh, it's not that I have them every day, but I would say half of them they take place while I'm asleep. So like out of body experiences, visitations from deceased loved ones, in some cases. Some of my out of body experiences, I went to places that I'd never been to before, and then either months or years later, I found myself in those places. and in the
Wow.
dreams I was there alone, but then in person I was there with people because which makes sense because I can't drive. So how would I get to these places to go
Mm.
there alone? Um, so I had those. I had a lot of experiences growing up with what you might call ghosts, even though I have no idea what ghosts are. I think there's many different things that get labeled as ghosts, but that kind of thing. And I've had a couple of what what seem like alien abduction experiences as well. So I
Wow.
basically
Whoa.
I like to joke now that I've had everything except for the cryptid or creature encounters at this point.
Sorry, the which creature?
Cryptid.
Just cryptids or creatures, just in general. I haven't had any anything like that where I've seen something that I couldn't, some kind of uh, entity that was not fully human or not human at all. I haven't had a I haven't seen Bigfoot or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna
Okay.
send
Yeah.
Mothman his way. We're gonna send Mothman his way soon. That way he can hang out with him and get a close report.
Yeah, Mothman is that a recent enough kind of what's the word I'm looking for? I suppose a recent enough kind of story, or is that
Well,
going back through time a long time, or is it more recent?
it's at least through the '60s.
Okay,
I
it's around a
feel
long time.
like I heard, and I feel I can't remember. I feel like I heard there was accounts of it before that, but they weren't as well known. But the '60s here in the U.S., 66, 67, 68. That's a lot of what John Keel looked into. The Mothman prophecies. That whole
Hmm.
book was based on a lot of that over in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, I believe. Um,
Yeah, Point
and
Pleasant.
Point
yeah,
Pleasant, yeah, I
so
heard that actually.
yeah, so I think that's where a lot of that. That's probably the most famous case of that. Now, of course, I've heard of being similar to, or maybe possibly being a Mothman, or if there's multiple, then But anyway, I've heard of that. There was a series of sightings of creatures and or winged humanoid kind of creatures around Chicago, um, like 2012 going forward, 11 going forward for a while,
Wow.
and something about maybe a possible sighting over in near Russia, near no, I can't think of the name of the place. The place that the nuclear disaster,
Uh,
Chernobyl. There we go.
Noble.
Oh,
Chernobyl.
Chernobyl,
Okay. Yeah.
Ukraine.
So, so
Ukraine, is
yeah,
it?
it comes
Yeah.
up here and there.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Recently on my X feed, I've been seeing a lot with Bigfoot, and apparently there's this man that has a dead body of Bigfoot, and there's pictures released. Have you seen that?
No,
No, I haven't seen the
Yeah,
dead
it's
body.
kind of.
That's
You have
interesting.
seen it, is it?
No, I haven't seen the dead body yet. That's interesting, because
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
going to get it up, and I'll share the screen with you to show you.
See, we're kind of in the age of the AI then as well, and like I mean, you could
Exactly.
see you could be showing some people something fantastic now, and we'll all
yeah.
dismiss it. We'll all dismiss it as fucking AI. Then
Well,
yeah,
and
that's the bad part. That is the bad
Mhm.
part nowadays, and that's why I kind of like seeing older footage and stuff like that, because now it's so easy to
Mm.
fake.
Yeah.
Um,
and getting people's own words and their actual experiences too. I think
Hmm.
is now maybe more important than ever
Uh,
before.
yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just while you were talking as well, while I'm searching this up, because I definitely seen this the other day, but it's not coming up on my feed now when I'm searching, so I might have to dig a little deeper. But when you're talking about out of body experiences, dear gems, we had a
Yes.
guest in our show only there last week, Mike Sigala. If anyone wants to look up his truththeory.com, so truththeory.com website. And on Facebook, I think he has something like 2 million followers. So
Okay.
he's around a while. But basically, he looks into consciousness and what happens to the mind outside the body, and what can it do, and what is it capable of. And he talks about psychedelic experiences, and when people are talking to these beings, that they might think that are benevolent. Some people think it's God that they might be talking to, or UFOs, or sorry, not UFOs, aliens that have good intentions. But he thinks that a lot of these experiences with these entities, that these entities are using masks and they're using avatars to almost farm your loosh energy. So your energy, and trying to deceive you into
Yeah.
fooling you that they're guiding you to a more beneficial part of your life, whereas these are negative, low vibrational entities. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard the biggest problem I've always had with a lot of things is I've heard you always hear the absolutes. In other words, they're all here to help us, and they're all everything
Well,
is um, angels and just other aliens are all good. And I've heard the
Mm,
other side where it's they're all bad. Everything now the big thing is everything is demons, ghosts or aliens or whatever. Everything's demons. And from experience and from talking to other people and reading people's positive experiences, I don't agree with that. I think there's a mix of everything,
mm,
from neutral to positive to negative intentions from all
mm.
kinds of beings.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked
yeah.
And
about a lot.
James, what are your thoughts on then on things like astral projection? Have you experienced anything like that, or have you managed to have any astral projection experiences yourself?
Not intentionally. Nothing I've ever had happen has been intentional.
Okay.
Just things that happen while I'm asleep, or nothing has ever been intentional because most of the time when I have them and they're over, it's like I get tired all over again from the experience. And
Right.
so when I wake up, I'm not usually completely fully rested unless I slept a lot more after. But I think
Mm.
Ricky, you were gonna say something as well.
I was to say, yeah, we always talk about like a lot of these things, a lot of these different situations is, everybody wants to put them in a box. Everybody wants
Yeah.
everything to put in this one box. Well, it's got to be aliens or like James said, everything. Even J.D. Vance talking about demons, where
Mm-hmm.
aliens are demons now, whatever. Everything's in these little boxes, and we don't we don't. This one thing for sure we both agree on, like is that you know there's multiple facets answers to it. So it's like
Yeah.
we joke
This
about
you're
it, it's
gonna
like
say that as well.
it's E all of the above. You get multiple choice. And it's in that concept of this E is all above because it could be aliens, it could be demons, it could be angels, it could be helpful spirits, it could be jinn, it could be all kinds of variable multiple
Mm.
aspect of an answer. So um, yeah, when people try to throw it all in a little box, and that's just you're stopping everything. Like we had a discussion the other day was talking about like orbs. When they're in a house, you think they're ghosts. If you see an orb outside, you're more thinking they're UFOs. Instead of hey, you could have it could be ghosts outside with the orbs. It
Mm-hmm.
could be which I've had seen a lot of them, but um,
Well,
and yeah, I seen I had my I had my car cut off right beside a cemetery one time, and I looked out across the cemetery and seen thousands of orbs just floating across there. They cut my car off, and
Fuck.
yeah, it scared me to death online. But
And your car cut out.
yeah, it just like a movie. My car cut off and went, and I'm like, what the hell? And I started trying to crank it, and then I just turned like something was like, hey, look, and I turn and look, and there's orbs floating through this cemetery with no lights. I'm getting
Oh
chills
fuck.
just thinking about it, and I'm like, fuck this. And I'm so, come on, car, crank, 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 crank. And then there was like the weird thing was like the end of this road, this car headlights just came on. It was like, I don't want to be part of a movie today. Damn it. Come on, let's get out of here. And finally the car
Sounds
started up and I turned around and hauled ass out of there. But
Jesus.
one of the scariest, freakiest moments of my life was that right there.
It's like an episode of the X Files, man.
It was.
And it had to fucking be beside a graveyard as well, for fuck's sake.
And I just happened to get over there. I was driving and then got a little, made the wrong turn. And that's happened to. I wasn't even trying to go over that area. I made the wrong turn and got got over there, and all of a sudden, as soon as I got over there, just car cut off, wooden crane,
Mm.
orbs
Yeah,
flying through a cemetery, and a car at the end, headlights coming on. It was just like a crazy X Files or something. And I'm like,
Jesus.
yeah. Myself and Niall actually, was it 2 weeks ago? We went to, we went actually on an investigation, paranormal investigation with some researchers there that we've had on our show before. So we're actually, that's who we're going to talk actually in the next, I don't know, 3/4 of an hour. We're going literally interviewing them for our show. But what we did was we went to Tarbert Courthouse. So it was an old courthouse, and there was some cells there as well. So we spent 9 p.m. was lock in, and we went until 2 a.m. But we had a few funny enough experiences. Now, me going in personally, I didn't expect to experience anything. Now I'm very open-minded about it, but like the guys, they tell you straight away, don't be expecting any ghost hunter stuff activity. Like sometimes you might have something, other investigations you might have nothing. But we had a couple of funny things, didn't we, Niall? I remember sitting inside in a cell, and we, like, they have the proper apparatus, the instruments, and the way I'd explain it is, it's like cylinders, small cylinders that have LEDs inside them, and you might have a series of 12 of them in line. But when you're walking next to one, the next that will light up, and then if you're to the next one will light up, but it always lights up in sequence in which someone's walking at. So that happened during one of our, how do you call him? What was the phrase you're calling him? I suppose name. I don't know.
No,
It's
we were
a,
yeah, we were just chilling inside in the cell,
yeah,
just kind of waiting to see if anything would happen. We were moving
yeah.
from part to through the building. We'd stay for a few minutes in each part, and yeah, sure enough, it wasn't much, but a couple of these LED lights went off, and it wasn't that spooky overall. I didn't
No,
get
it
any kind of
wasn't.
an eerie feeling in the building or anything like that. But the building had a history of paranormal activity, so
Mm-hmm. And how we actually got some of the activity going, and it did happen 2 or 3 times in the space of maybe 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer, 20 minutes. But straight away we were joking, we were laughing, and literally a second or two after that, the lights in that sequence tool would light up as if someone was
Wow.
walking by it. So then we stopped and we were saying, "Oh Jesus, what's happening here?" So then we'd have another conversation, and with other people with us. We were in the room with there's 4 or 5 of us in the room. So then one person would say something, another person would say something, no reaction. But then we might have a little joke in between us or something, and with another bit of laughter out of us. And then the same thing would happen outside in the corridor. Dim lights would light up as someone was walking past them. So that happened 3 times in the space of 20 minutes. So I don't know, was this, if there was an entity there, was it feeding off our positive vibrations through our kind of laughter there, or what was it?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I was wondering. Because if you think about any kind of courthouse or jail or whatever, obviously there's going to be a lot of negative emotions there, a lot of
Yeah.
Yeah,
turmoil. But then so if there is anyone there, they would be drawn to these people are having fun. I want to go by them,
Hmm.
so I can
yeah,
have fun
maybe,
too.
yeah.
That's what we were thinking as well. And
Yeah.
I had another experience. So we were in another part of the prison, or the courthouse, I should say. And the main investigator was just doing his call out. So almost like trying to charge up a bit of energy and try to see and ask questions and see was there any answer back from whatever entity was there. So I remember one of the girls was walking into a little side room, and she felt a bit of electricity along her body, and she felt a bit of pins and needles. So then I walked into that room, and when I walked into that room, I literally never felt this feeling before. It was very strange. It was almost like electrical current started moving from the top of my head down through my shoulders and out through my arms, and like pins and needles and electrical kind of charge. And I said it to the lads behind me. I said, lads, I'm feeling something here. And then someone else, I think Niall, you walked into the room and you felt nothing. So I walked back out, and and the charge had left my body, so I was feeling normal again. And then I turned around and walked back in, and the same experience, the same charge come from the top of my head down. And there was one other girl who had that same experience. So what we did later on in the investigation, myself and that girl returned to that room, and I think it was belonging to, or there was the story of a mother and a child who used to reside in that room. After it was finished being purposed for a courthouse, families did live there, different families over a period of time. And I can't remember exactly what happened. I'll have to ask PJ on our show after what the true story was behind it. But we stayed in that room by ourselves, and everyone else, part of the crew, were at the other side of the building. And actually, sorry, this is why we were all in the same room next to it. Sorry, myself and this girl stayed in the room. And I remember looking into the corner, and we could see, I thought I was seeing things, and I saw this like electrical sparks in the corner, not in the ground, and there was no sockets near any of this corner because we checked it. It was almost like it was in the middle of the air. There was little branches of electricity that were sparking. And no, this wasn't long after our experience with our pins and needles electricity on us. And I said, what's that? And the other girl says, can you see them sparks? Can you see them sparks? I said, I'm literally seeing them as well. So they disappeared. So then we asked questions again, trying to see if we can get some kind of a response from the entity, but we got nothing. So yeah, it's strange. Very strange.
Huh. That's funny. I've heard of that. Sparks or lights, but not orbs. Just, yeah, like you said, sparks. I had that happen once in my own apartment here. I was just getting over being sick, some kind of infection and everything, and I was getting better, but I wasn't totally there yet. But I never had this happen before or since here. But I was seeing just points of white light, and they would appear and then move in a random direction and then be gone. So it was almost like a spark, but I'm not sure if it's the same thing or not. But still, it wasn't like your usual orb where it was big and it stayed, or like that. No, these were, and I'm amazed that I was able to see them as well because I am legally blind. So small things usually do not register very well with my eyes. But yeah, I had to happen one night when I was finally getting better and just relaxing and sitting talking with friends online. I was just noticing these white little spark or lights in the air appearing and then vanishing, and they were quick. And it never happened again.
Interesting, yeah.
Like, now you no experience out in that investigation, I don't think, did you, other than that
No.
we had with the lights?
No, I didn't. No. I was a bit underwhelmed. I was looking for something fucking big, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. But they've invited us back to there's a castle. What's the name of it? What's it called?
Lee Castle.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
that sounds like another fucking level. I don't know if I'll expose myself to that shit, because that
Apparently, it's
sounds.
one of the most haunted castles in Ireland, I think.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Right,
Have you? Yeah. They've been there before as well. And as far as I remember, the last time we spoke to PJ on our podcast, last Halloween, wasn't it? And his son Leo, we asked him, like, was there ever anything that scared the shit out of you? And Leo said, I think it was in that place, wasn't it, that he said he saw something or heard something, and he said he fucking just took off. He was leaving. He left everyone behind, and he just got the fuck out of there.
I actually seen where the ghost hunters back in the day. I think on season 3 or something like that. I went there and
Yeah.
it was. I
Oh,
think it
did
was their
they?
their first international one. That was so how long ago it was.
Yes.
It popped up on my YouTube, and I watched it every day. But yeah, they were there, so that's pretty cool.
Did they get anything good there? Or?
Yeah, they got some good stuff there. I remember right.
Yes,
I
don't
watched
remember
it the other day. I don't remember.
years.
I don't remember exactly what all. I watched part of it. I don't know. I'm
place that-
always multitasking. I got like 2 screens up, and I got like a show going in the background at the same time, and so it's sometimes it's
That's
hard.
the job. Yeah, I'm the same. I'd be doing the same thing, trying to back up what I'm trying to say, because sometimes you're being caught saying something and it's completely wrong. But anyway, if people are interested in looking up more about that place that we went on that investigation with, it's called Tarbert Courthouse. So Tarbert, and it's in County Kerry. Just as well, can I share my screen here, Ricky? You able
Sure.
to do that? Yeah, I'll show you
Okay.
the Bigfoot. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, do yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this I follow these guys on X. They're very good. They have a lot of different content. So interstellar. So they have a lot of UFO stuff, paranormal things. So this was actually on News Nation. So Snake the Bigfoot hunter. Apparently he is after finding this corpse, and that's what I've been seeing in my feed in the last couple of weeks. When's this? This is posted when 10th of July. So this man found Bigfoot corpse, and its DNA tested showing 58.5% Neanderthal and 41.5% human. So he reveals he found an 8-foot, 30-pound, 300-pound corpse in the Adirondacks, Adirondacks, with DNA testing showing, yeah, like I said.
Jesus.
He discovered the decaying remains by smell, followed larger footprints nearby, and believes it was killed by another Bigfoot over territory or mating. Tests on blood, hair, and fecal matter from Cornell's veterinary DNA lab confirmed the hybrid profile, with some indigenous makers suggesting ancient crossings via the Bering Land Bridge. Snake called skeptics victims of Bigfoot derangement syndrome. That's almost like Trump derangement syndrome. And notes global sightings plus verifications from native tribes who identified it as a bark eater. Okay, so he's facing a battle from mainstream. Okay, so he did a documentary, Japanese team. Yeah, so that's 5 minutes long, but if anyone has Twitter there, or look up News Nation, Bigfoot. Apparently that's the guy.
Yeah,
So that's a little footage of it there. It's interesting.
yeah, for sure. Like Bigfoot, there's so many stories, but I know one of the biggest gripes on like some people say, well, why haven't we found one? Why haven't we found one? But if you turn around and look, like they find new species of animals all the damn time. There's all kinds of
Yeah.
animals. I think just within this year they found another species of an animal. So that
They
that
found a
part there.
monkey with was it purple lips or red lips or something, and it's a new species.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Right. Lads, what do you think of the Giant of Kandahar? This is, well, I was going to say it's gone mainstream nearly, but it was on fucking, I think it was Joe Rogan was talking to somebody about that. Have you heard this story, the Giant of Kandahar?
I
Yeah,
think
I've heard
so.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think I
these.
saw some of them clips of it.
Yeah. Again, though, like, it's just you're getting the testimony from some military lads, but yeah, it's a mad story that this giant apparently killed a group of fucking soldiers, and then another group went back and managed to kill it and airlifted out of there. But how big did they say it was? Like fucking 10 to 12 feet tall or something. 6 fingers, 6 toes,
Yeah.
red hair. And it kind of ties in with a lot of, I think, is it some Native American Indian tribe had stories about hunting and killing these things as well.
Yeah, there's lots of Indian stories about that where they were fighting redheaded, like 10 foot tall beings, and that's the giant thing's always like puzzle me because there's stories from so many years ago. We know they were had skeletons, they had pictures of them and everything, but it's another one of them things is like, but they're like people still like, oh, that's a fake, they're fake, but we know for a fact like the Smithsonian covers up so much stuff. Have y'all seen the Alaskan boneyard?
No.
Yeah. So is that the guy? He's good friends with Joe Rogan. Is that the same guy?
Yeah, Joe Rogan. He's the only place he went to like been on talking with anybody was on Joe Rogan, and
Yeah.
he turned around and he told on Joe Rogan that, hey, look, the Smithsonian dumped my bones into the Hudson River and where they did it, and people went down there and got them out and found them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, let's prove this guy wrong. They went down there and actually found the tusk and this, and it's like if the Smithsonian covered that up, what else have they covered
What
up?
else?
It's just
Yeah.
it just shows like it opens up that can of worms. Like, okay, what else have they completely covered up? I
Mm.
think, and it's one of them things like I think they show stuff in movies. They allow us to see stuff in movies, and I think in like Indiana Jones, they showed us really what like the Smithsonian does. They just box shit up and put them in a room and like, nope,
Yeah.
they can't handle this truth, so we're just gonna box it up and cover it up and not let us be. But why the big cover up of giants though? What was the
Mm.
point? I wonder.
That's
Well,
a good question. Yeah.
that's what's fascinating about that, the idea of them having a big room like that for things. If there's any number of objects there that have any kind of energy attached to them, because I've heard that the Smithsonian Castle in Washington D.C. I haven't looked into it a lot, but I just found it somewhere that mentioned that place has a lot of activity. So if you have, I mean, museums anyway can have activity from all the objects from throughout time, and that belong to people and everything. So I mean, can you imagine a place with let's say the Ark of the Covenant, like they show, like you said in Indiana Jones, or similar objects like that, all these things and all that energy combined? I mean, that's just amazing to think about that, what that could do to a place.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you know what? It's not just the stuff that they're covering up. Then it's the fake stuff they're putting into museums as well.
Mm.
Like all the dinosaur bones aren't real dinosaur bones. They're all fake, and they're like, no, we can't show you the real ones. The real ones are boxed up downstairs, but you can have these fake ones, and I don't know.
That, and I've heard they take pieces from different specimen to
Yeah,
make things, and so
yeah,
Yeah.
they may not have whatever they're showing you may not look like what something is actually supposed to look like.
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of people talking about dragons these days.
Yeah.
Who knows? Fucking hell.
I mean,
Do you,
it makes sense. I believe dragons. There's at one time there had to be something because, like the Chinese calendar has all these real creatures on it, but then it has one mythology. If
yeah.
why would it have real creatures on there and then have
Yeah.
one?
Why would it bother?
It don't make
Why would it
sense.
bother?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do
And
believe
then
they've seen them. Either they've seen them in their time, or they found skeletons. And they say, oh, look at this creature right here. Here, I bet this was a dragon. You know, and they called them dragons. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
But here you go again, Ricky. Like, if they did exist, why covered it up? Like, what does it do to cover it up? How does it play into their hands? Is there something we're missing?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
that's another curiosity. It's like it's, but they do have a way of like we can't handle the truth. Kind of mentality. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we can't handle there was Bigfoots. Why? We
yeah.
can't handle there was dragons. Okay, why? Why couldn't we
Mhm.
handle there was flying? But in within recent time, y'all say there was pterodactyls and stuff back in ancient times and with dinosaurs and stuff. Why couldn't hell?
Mm.
That's basically a
And
damn
those are
dragon.
seen now. Sorry.
Say it again, James.
I've heard people say that they've seen prehistoric animals, flying around as
Really?
well in, the
Yeah.
last 50, 100 years or whatever. Like there are
Mm.
sightings of these kinds of creatures still flying around places. Now, is that a physical being? Is that
Mhm.
some kind of projection of who knows what? Is that a time anomaly where people are
Mm.
seeing into a different period of time,
Mm.
and so they are seeing what they think they're seeing? I don't know,
Yeah.
but all these things seem like they're there's all kinds of sightings of just everything out there, and yeah.
Yeah, as you said there, like and I've heard this about Bigfoot, and you have as well, I'd say. Just it being maybe a trans-dimensional being as well that
Hmm.
sometimes might spill into our reality, but might be belong to another, but maybe it has that ability that it mightn't be aware of itself, that it can spill into the or reality or different other dimensions, and that's
Yep.
why people sometimes see him, but then go looking for him, they can't find him at all.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Vanishing or appearing, sometimes in a bunch of light or with a bunch of light around them or lights around them.
Mm.
Vanishing or
mm,
appearing, all that as well.
yeah. And then similarly, then you have like fucking airplanes. There's so many stories about airplanes that vanish into thin air,
Hmm.
and then they land 20 years later or something somewhere else, and you know, there's again, it's witness testimony and stuff, but there's a lot of mysteries like that.
Flight MH370 with the orbs. Have you all seen that footage?
Yes. Yeah.
There's this guy I'm following on Twitter. Geez, I'm doing a lot for Twitter tonight. I hope Elon Musk is listening. But I can't remember his name. But he's done a lot. He's some background in engineering, I think. But he's been doing a lot of research into, and he thinks that video footage and the three orbs rotating around the plane, that what they were doing was they were transporting, what's that phrase when you're transporting something? Science fiction.
Teleporting.
Teleporting. Sorry, it
Teleporting.
just
Yeah.
left my
Good
head.
man,
Yeah,
James.
come on, James. I had a brain fart. So teleporting. So it was that they have teleporting technology, and that was an experiment basically that they were doing, but maybe they had the wrong target.
Wow.
Um, but no, again, that's basically the nutshell what he's looking at. If I'm going to try and find his page, if people are interested in him, he's well worth looking into. I actually reached out to him to see if he would come on the podcast a few months back, but I got a cold shoulder. But sure, maybe again down the line we'll try him.
You know what else is fascinating to me is sightings of objects in the sky that are like said to be UFOs, but then they change appearance to look like a plane. Or people will see a plane in the
Yeah,
sky, and then but it's not making any sound, and it'll change shape to
Mm,
something anomalous. That to me is
yeah.
really, all these things are really fascinating. The whole, the whole idea of things that don't fit in any one category of, you know, alien craft or just things that don't fit in any one category easily. To me, are some of the most fascinating things out there.
Yeah.
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 And if you're a UFO, right, or if you're a transdimensional object, and you can morph into different physical, I suppose, models or objects, why wouldn't you morph yourself into a plane with a flashing red light to blend in? Why wouldn't you do that? You know, because the
Yeah.
minute we look up in the sky, do you ever have that experience? I just had it last night with my girlfriend. We looked up, and I was driving, and she spotted a red light in the sky. She goes, "John, what's that?" So I looked up. I goes, "Oh, that's only a plane." But it was very high. But like, there's me discounting it, like, but it could be,
Right.
probably a plane, but it might have masked itself as one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not could it
Who
have
was
cloaking
this?
devices and stuff, like, kind of like Star
Right.
Trek type deal. I don't see why they couldn't have. And the other variable now that we miss is, military technology is 30 years ahead of what
Yep.
Yeah.
we've seen and we know. So I believe that's a lot of the times, not that to discredit that there are any UFOs or anything like that, is that, some of it is going to be military, you know, it's going to be U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
military and other militaries testing and seeing what they can get away with and everything.
Mm. I
Yeah.
mean, God knows how long they've had AI. We could be watching fucking AI for the last 20 or 30 years for all we know, you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you look at like it's one of them things. I remember when like 9/11 came out, and one of the theories was like it was a hologram,
Yeah.
covering up the missile, and so it wasn't a plane, but it was it was a hologram of a plane over the missile when the missile hit the building, or whatever. And I'm like,
Hmm.
that's crazy. There's no way. That's just y'all are reaching too far, and you're going to get people thinking outside the box, and to the point of where they're going to overlook everything else because of this one item. But now you look at like drone shows and stuff like that, like holy hell,
Yeah.
it's amazing what the drone shows can do. So you
Hmm.
now you're like, okay, well, maybe did they have that drone technology 20 years ago,
Yeah,
25 years ago? Very could
yeah,
have.
Oh, why wouldn't
So
it?
it
yeah.
now
I
we can
remember.
measure
So
some stuff.
I remember
Go
coming
ahead.
across a guy an English guy, Richard Hill. He used to do a lot of these kinds of shows, and he had a theory that the planes were there was a some sort of a cloaked drone flying along, projecting the image of the planes. Was it John Lear was talking about how it was just impossible for planes to fly that fast, planes that large, that low. So
Hmm. Yeah, John Lear has some good thoughts on it, because hell, he flew all the time.
yeah, he flew everything. I think he had a license for every single plane, and he was looking at that going,
Yeah, I
the
heard
way
that.
the way those planes maneuvered, the way they turned, just possible according to him. And there's probably no one more qualified to discuss that.
There's that guy now, Ashton Forbes, lads. So he looks into 0 point energy and neutronic fusion. I don't know what that is. Teleportation, and he focuses on the MH370s. So if people want to have a look at his stuff there, and he has a YouTube channel as well. Um, yeah, he goes deep. But yeah, the what when we were on Chris Matthews show there a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of came to the same conclusion. The more questions, or
Yeah,
the more you look, nearly the more questions you have.
yeah,
But the most important thing is just to look and like. Thanks a million for getting us to join, allowing us to join your show, because like this is a place where we can discuss ideas and all these things, because you need to have a community where you can bounce off each other.
Yeah,
yeah, hundred
absolutely.
percent.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all being here and stuff. And like, yeah, I talk about that. Well, I talked about it Wednesday on my show, and we need to be places, we can have, ideas, and stop all the, like, you know, all four of us here are not going to think the same thing. Like, there's certain things like, hey, you're going to agree with, or I'm going to agree with, or we're going to disagree, and we should be able to agree to disagree, and
Mm,
have discussions and open discussions. And
Yeah.
luckily I've had really good luck with that, with the show and stuff like that, and even in the chat, um, um, like on at night the chat's usually rumbling and really active, and with people back and forth and having a very
That's
good
good.
discussion and bouncing ideas and stuff, and
mm,
some days the chat actually gives us ideas and makes the show go farther because we're like, oh, I didn't think about that idea. Let me and I put that out there and into the kind of the
Mm.
ether of things,
hmm
and so it's good
Yeah,
to it is good to be able to talk these ideas and keep an open mind and
absolutely. Yeah,
take the blinders off. That little horse
yeah,
with the blinders, you got to take them damn things off and look at
Ah,
the big
100%.
picture.
yeah, yeah. Do you know what? Sometimes you'll hear something, and initially you go, "Ooh, that's a bit wild now for me." But 2 or 3 years down the road, there's more evidence, and all of a sudden you're like, "Jesus, I remember the time that Ricky said that. That's fucking interesting now." And all of a sudden the seed has been planted, and we're all on different levels of our little investigation and stuff as well, and trying to understand shit. So, and most of the shit that I believe now, like 15 years ago, would have been the wildest fucking stuff imaginable to me. And now
Yep.
a lot of it's quite plausible. Um, we have another show now in about 10 minutes ourselves, but lads, it was a blast talking to you. Would you be interested in coming on our show in a couple of months?
Oh, of
Of
course, of
course.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
yeah. Just email um, and I'll get you James's email. I'll
Yeah,
email you
do.
James's
That'd be great.
email, and whenever we'll figure out a time and
lovely.
and like I said, I appreciate y'all being here, and I
And
guess
thanks for asking us, Ricky. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
It was fun.
Very enjoyable. Great talking to yourself as well, James.
And likewise, James.
You too as well. Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys. And yeah, so for anyone that's listening, I think you have in the description as well there, Ricky. So you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, we're also on social media on X, TikTok, Instagram and Facebook, The Deep Ponder. And yeah, as we always say, stay curious. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll stay in touch. Ricky and James will get you on our show soon enough, hopefully.
Awesome. Appreciate y'all. Y'all enjoy your your next show.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you.
Thanks a million. Take care.
Good luck, James. Good luck, Ricky. See you,
Bye,
man.
Ricky. Bye, James.
All right.
All right. Good luck, Ricky. Thanks a million, man.
Thank you. Appreciate you, brother.
You're staying on it, said
All right, James. That turned in. This show was not how I thought it was going to go, but it went really well. We were still live, by the way.
Yep.
We were still live. We're going to go ahead and then I was going to let them get out of there and then let you do your spew of your view for the ones who don't know.
Yeah, so if you want to hear a lot more of me, I have a show. It's called Salcedo Paranormal. It's an audio-only podcast, and which I have a co-host as well, Jen, the Arcane Observer, who has her own channel, and we talk all things. She usually joins me mostly on Saturdays, but we talk all things paranormal, unexplained, anomalous, and you can find all the episodes of the show along with ways to listen and support the show over at my website, which is salcedoparanormal.com. That's SALSIDO paranormal.com. And you can find all 1,080 episodes of the show on there as well.
Yeah, don't let spell check fix his word there. Don't let him fix his spell check. Well, it's like that's not spelled right. Yeah, always does to me when I try to put stuff in. But yeah, appreciate y'all listening. I know we got a few listening and everything. Had a few in the chat. Appreciate y'all popping in. Like I said, it's fun doing lunch shows and stuff like that. I'm glad it turned into what it turned into. We got to talk about fun stuff, talked about Ghostbusters and other random stuff, and then they popped on and got a good hour in. So that was fun. There was getting to talk to them. I knew it would be, like I said, watching a couple of their shows and stuff like that. It was their discussion. It was, I knew it was going to be fun. So, yeah, looking forward to going on their show. This is, just jumping on this ride and going with it, James.
Yeah, yep, definitely.
So appreciate y'all. Like I said, as always. But we're gonna get out of here and call it a day. Let me hit this outro and then or intro, outro, whatever this thing is here, and we'll get out of here and we'll see y'all Sunday with our special guest. Melissa McCarty will be here, the outlaw psychic. So come back Sunday to see her. I can't believe I was about to pull it up, but I remembered. So be here Sunday. It'll be going really good. Another great guest, I believe. So see y'all there.
strange noises in the middle of the night.
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows.